Danny Segura for MMAfighting.com here in New York City at the Bellator 222 Media Day, standing next to Heather Hardy, who will be taking on Taylor Turner. First of all, how much do you know about your opponent? I believe she's 3-5 or 5-3.
Yeah, I don't know anything. I don't watch tape. That stuff gets too much in my head. I leave my team to watch it. The only thing I know is that she had a rough beginning of her career,
Yeah.
coming off 3 wins. She changed teams. She's got 2 stoppages inside the first round. But my team was like, Heat, you got this, baby. So I feel strong.
So you've been switching back between boxing and MMA. How difficult has it been to keep two careers? Because it's two disciplines you have to focus on.
It's really, really challenging, especially at the elite level when it comes to boxing. I mean, I learned after my last transition that it's not easy to jump from the cage to the ring. That there is such a thing as ring rust. I haven't been in the ring since October, so an imminent return to the ring is very unlikely for me.
In terms of, do you think your boxing career is over in that sense, or
It
or
could
it,
be.
okay?
It could be. I mean, I'm not going to discuss it really until after this fight, but um, I had a lot of fun this camp, and so
Would you say you're enjoying MMA more than boxing?
I would.
Because you've been doing boxing for so long, MMA is
Yeah,
somewhat new for you.
and boxing can be such a disappointing sport. The politics of the sport of boxing have really been letting me down more so than ever. So at this stage in my career, I'm 37 years old. I'm not going to be fighting for 10 more years. So how do I want to go out the best? You know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's very interesting because most fans believe that, in boxing, that's where the money's at. But for example, I've talked to Amanda Serrano, which I'll ask you about that shortly. But she told me, women's boxing compared to women's MMA is completely different. Women's MMA is far bigger, and there's more money to be made there. Would you agree with that?
100%, and that really goes for men as well. Like in boxing, you have like the top 2% of boxers who are making money, whereas in MMA, the money is kind of spread out a little more. You have a lot more fighters making money. So even though you have the hundreds of millions that Mayweather was making is tons more than ever in MMA. I mean, there are more people making money. The opportunity to get a bigger purse is there, whereas for women's boxing, it's non-existent.
Do you wish, in a way, you would have started your MMA journey a lot sooner, or no? Do you feel like you had to go through what you went through?
I think I had to go through what I went through. I do. I'm very proud to be a world champion, to have done the first in a long list of firsts for a female ever in boxing, and I'm very proud of my career and everything that I was able to accomplish.
I know there was some rumors about you possibly fighting Amanda Serrano, who also lives in Brooklyn. Uh, what's the word on that? Any update? Will that fight ever go down?
Well, there was some talk about it before this MMA fight, and it was a lot of on and off, right? It was like they said in January they wanted to fight me, but she was going to do an MMA fight, so it had to be shelved. And, by the time she was deciding she wasn't going to do an MMA fight, I was. And I was like, well, can you come up with a dollar amount before I have to sign my contract? And that never happened. So I said, after giving them a month, and by them I mean the boxing promoters, obviously, because it had to be signed through the zone and through Eddie Hearn, because that's who Amanda's with. I'm not with anyone, and we couldn't get a contract. So I said I don't even want to hear about it until after my MMA fight.
I know that's the fight to make in boxing, but could you potentially see yourself fighting her in MMA, because she's over at Combate Americas, which is part of the zone, and we know Bellator has worked, for example, with Ryzen and has those cross promotion fights. Would you be interested in that? Would you welcome a fight with Amanda in MMA?
Yeah, I mean, I'd listen to anything. That's what my team's about. Like, if it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. So we're ready to listen to anything.
All right, Heather. Well, can't wait for your fight.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time.